Hello everyone, my name is Hunter Pattison, and in this speech, I'll be talking to you about climate change. Now, oftentimes, when you hear about climate change, it's on the news or social media, and it's portrayed as some sort of fad made up by scientists who don't know what they're talking about. But when in reality, climate change is a real and serious issue backed by real science. Now, you might be thinking, well, hasn't the climate always been changing, and why should I care? In this speech, I will go through why climate change is important, the evidence for it, its causes, and what you and I, and us as a society can do about it. Now, first things first, climate change is defined as an average global increase in temperature. Coming from National Geographic, the last 10 out of 13 years have been the warmest in recorded history. Secondly, 97% of all scientists agree that climate change is anthropogenic, meaning it's caused by humans. Now, if we go back to the 1800s and the Industrial Revolution, we have seen a huge boom in our fossil fuel consumption. With modern advances in medical science, we see a longer lasting life and a huge boom in our population. And these are all great things, but with this comes a higher usage and higher demand for fossil fuels and natural resources. So with this increase of CO2 and greenhouse gases, it creates a blanketing effect around our whole planet. So as light comes from the sun and reaches us to the earth, this warm blanket captures all this energy and keeps it on our planet. Now, in doing this, it warms our planet. Now, one thing that's affected more than anything other is our oceans. Now, our oceans are vastly important. They are vital for us. They account for about 50% of our Earth's oxygen. In addition, they house a load of creatures, resources for us to use, fish, and it's just beautiful. And now, one thing that's being hit the hardest is our coral reefs. Now, there is a phenomenon called ocean acidification. Now, this is when CO2 is dissolved into our oceans and acidifies it. So it has acidified about 30% more than it has in the last century, which is huge. And with this acidification, corals have been dying. Now, corals are a keystone species, meaning they are vital for vast amounts of species of fish, which is not good, especially for those billions of people where fish is their primary source of protein. Secondly, coming from NASA, our North Poles and South Poles have been losing a lot of ice. And with this loss of ice, our oceans have increased about 6.7 inches in the last century. Now, with this comes increased weather events such as hurricanes and typhoons. With this also becomes tornadoes and its increased energy amount. So, for example, as a hurricane comes and the oceans are warmer, the hurricane will become stronger and they will be more frequent, which is not good. Another thing is climate change will change the weather patterns, making it harder to grow crops. This can be very bad for us as a society. Additionally, climate change is a huge ordeal involving our whole planet, so it can be a little overwhelming. But scientists believe that you and I can do something about it, such as recycling. If there's a light on, turn it off. If you're not using your electronic, it's not that hard to flip a switch. Additionally, you can eat less meat. Meat is a huge problem because it accounts for much of our forest deforestation, meaning we clear cut a lot of land, especially in the Amazon, to raise cattle for our hamburgers and stuff like that. Another thing is, with this decrease in meat, we can feed more of our planet through plants, and this helps with our CO2 absorption. Another thing that we can do is eat locally. Local produce requires less transportation, so less fossil fuel consumption. Now, these are some things that you can do, and the main takeaway is that climate change is real. Even though it is caused by humans, we can be the solution. Thank you.